This is The Bottom Line with Onimwa.
Today we are with the president, founder of the ICT University in Cameroon, Professor Victor Mbarika. Thank you, Professor Victor Mbarika, for talking to The Bottom Line.
I appreciate you inviting me, and first time on the show, and I look forward to such times.
Yeah, you are the president, founder of the International Communication and Technology University based in Yaoundé. What prompted you, what motivated you to create this university?
Yeah, many decades, or many years, not really decades ago, I was running quite some big projects for the National Science Foundation, NASA, some projects on research for ICT penetration in sub-Saharan Africa. And as I was going through, I was getting a lot of requests from people, including a very top official from the government of Ethiopia and other top government officials who are fine in Africa. They don't want to travel and live in the United States to study. They are happy within their countries, but they just wanted to be able to do their degree programs, get an American standard degree without having to travel and live in America. So by the grace of God, that got me thinking, me and my team of very young people. I was still in my early 30s, and my team of PhDs that were in their 20s. We thought, why not start even an online degree program that would serve such people, but taught by American professors and professors from different developing nations. So we launched the ICT University as an online degree program, first getting approval from the state of Louisiana, then later on launching into Cameroon and getting accreditation in Cameroon.
Yes, the university has multiple campuses across the developing world. Can we know some of these campuses and how you've impacted on the economies of these countries?
Yeah, we have not just multiple campuses, but we have multiple very important initiatives. Like we started with the digital literacy program in India under the then governor Modi, who is now India's prime minister, by the way. We worked close to him and launched a huge digital literacy program, training well over 100,000 students in India. And then we launched a campus in Uganda. We have initiatives in countries like Nigeria, where we train in using technology in public health. Then we've had affiliate campus in Zimbabwe. So we are working on establishing campuses in other developing countries like DRC.
Yeah, the ICT University was named the best innovative university in Cameroon and Central Africa. What were the domains in which you actually innovate for you to excel?
We were named the best digital university in Central Africa, as well as the best university in Cameroon. I don't know what criteria they use to name us that, but I can tell you what we have done, which I assume is why they gave us that designation, including my recent award, Lifetime Achievement Award by President Joe Biden in the United States. If you look at what our university is producing through our students, we have we have a young lady that just produced what we call an IntelliBra. It's a bra that when women wear, if it can help detect breast cancer. We have a young lady that developed an entire robot. Develop robots to remove trash and things like that. And we have innovations that are used today to help the blind, developed by students. I'm not even taking the credit. I provided the platform for them to learn and develop these innovations to help blind people that are blind to be able to go to school and ease them, provide some ease for them. So we have so many practical innovations because our idea of higher education, of ICT education, is not theory, it's practice and entrepreneurship. That's why most of our students, when they graduate, they don't care about working for the government, they don't care about getting jobs, they create their own jobs. It is because of these innovations that are marketable immediately they leave the university.
The 21st century is a century for ICT. You need a tool such as ICT to reach so many places.
Apply now and study ICT, Science of Education, Business Management, and many more at the ICT University.
And there's this upcoming ICT conference that is slated for Cameroon, I think in the month of July.
Yes.
We're talking about some high-profile former and current presidents who will be coming. Who are those in attendance, and why the choice of Cameroon hosting this university?
Yeah, it's called the ICT for Africa Conference Series, which is owned by the ICT University and has been existing for 12 years or so. We've gone through many countries in Africa, but the board decided that from 2024, Cameroon will be the only host of the conference. So every year, ICT for Africa will be hosted by Cameroon. And we have some very high-profile people coming. Former President of Nigeria, President Olusegun Obasanjo, former President of Mauritius, Her Excellency Dr. Amina will be here, and many other high-profile people. But you know what is even much more high-profile? The fact that we will have secondary school students from Cameroon and other African countries come present innovations they are doing in the ICT domain. They will be showing hands-on stuff that they are doing, and all they need is a push from us to get them the funding to develop this into big businesses, create employment for Africa and Africans. That is the high profile that excites me even the most.
And the curriculum of mainstream universities in Cameroon have their limitations in terms of innovation and wealth creation. What can be done to remedy this situation?
Oh no, I can never criticize the education system of Cameroon. Cameroon has an excellent education system. No, I cannot criticize existing universities. I think they are doing the best they can. You see, I'll give you an example, and I don't want to name some universities. I have interacted with some state universities, and state universities are limited in their funding and what they can do. Honestly, people pay 50,000 francs a year. I don't know how they survive on that money. And
we used to have scholarships when we were in university.
Yeah, but it's very tough. I run multiple campuses, and it's very expensive to run a university. At 50,000 a year, I don't want to say this and then Cameroonians get angry with me that I want fees to be increased or anything. It's hard to run a university at 50,000 per year, and then people can say, okay, the government will subsidize. Government does not have the money people think governments have, and I'm not just talking about the Cameroon government. The role of government, I've said it many times, is to provide protection for the people, build roads, provide enabling infrastructure for businesses, and not to provide money for everything that has to be done. That's where private sector comes in. So I was saying that I visited a state university that has a computer science program. At the time, I think it has changed, but did not have a real computer lab. When students want to develop computer programs, they write the programs by pen. Then the lecturer marks on paper. You cannot expect a student like that to graduate and do anything useful for the nation, because they need to run these programs using compilers, let me use layman's term. They need to test it, right, on a computer and make sure it works.
In the domain of ICT, we talk of artificial intelligence.
Yes.
What is it all about, and how can it impact on the economies of developing countries like Cameroon?
Mr. Moa, that's a great question. Let me start by telling you what it's not. People believe artificial intelligence is coming to replace people. Artificial intelligence will never replace God-created human beings. Okay? Artificial intelligence is simply enhancing human knowledge to a level that the regular human brain may not be able to process and do at a certain speed also. That is why we have launched an entire artificial intelligence department at ICT University with very, very expensive equipment for our students to use. Like one of our students now is about 2 months to finishing a complete robot that when you come to ICT University campus, you are welcomed by a robot, you are greeted and things like that.
How long do you think that might come to fruition?
No, we are just about 2 or 3 months from it. You see it in the media. We're gonna invite the media to come and see a working robot. And then there are things now like artificial intelligence enabled toilets where you sit on and it does everything for you, washes you, etc. Things to enhance the way people's health care. Artificial intelligence is in every area. Just think of artificial intelligence like using machine language, using computer programs to enhance what human beings already do, but not necessarily replacing them.
Basically, artificial intelligence is not going to replace the human beings, but just is like a plus to what the human beings are already doing.
If artificial intelligence can replace human beings, that will be people trying to prove that God does not exist. There are things, first of all, it's the human beings that have to create the artificial intelligence platforms, right? So you can never replace what God has naturally created as a born-again believer. You can rest assured artificial intelligence will never replace human beings. They will enhance what human beings are already doing.
We are in Cameroon, and the next year, 2025, is an election year. I know you are Cameroonian and you also feel for Cameroon.
Oh, yeah.
As the founder and president of the International Communication Technology Universities, what are you doing to help have free, fair, and transparent elections? I mean, you as the president of the ICT University.
I am very terrible when it comes to politics because it's not a domain I have much expertise in. But what I wanted to say as a Cameroonian, not necessarily in my capacity as president of ICT University, because I cannot make political statements as president of ICT University. The apprehension of people to go and vote is a problem. People need to register and vote. And there is this myth, I don't know, maybe it was true some decades ago, but there is this myth that you cannot get voters card. So what I did is I had a chance to talk with one of the top people, I don't want to call their names, of Ilecam. You can go and register if you have your ID card, you can go and register to vote. When people don't vote and later on they complain that the elections have been rigged and so on, I've heard these complaints every election. See, ICT University has what we call the Miss ICT University competition, even the Mr. ICT University competition. Every year we do that competition. I'm not involved in it. Some people always say that, the voting, that there was cheating. So people always, but you have to realize that even in the great United States of America, people still complain that elections were rigged. So it's part of it. So shut up, go, do your voting card, and go and vote. Most of my friends around me in Cameroon I talk to don't have a voting card. Most, I want to say over 90%.
So you're actually urging them to go and register and vote.
Absolutely. Register, vote, make your voice, let your voice count.
And don't complain tomorrow.
That is what democracy is about, my dear brother. So when people go around, and I'm not just talking about Cameroon, all around Africa, and they criticize when some presidents run around Africa and they win because they have mobilized their constituencies to vote, And the only thing we can say is people have rigged the elections. I'm sorry, I don't buy that.
Yes, and the recent elections in the West African state of Senegal ushered in a new era.
Oh, yes.
President Bassirou Diomaye Faye. Is it something that you like in Cameroon because it is somebody who is not of the establishment? Would you want something new in Cameroon, somebody who is energetic and innovative like the Senegalese president?
I want free and fair elections in Cameroon. That is all I want in the case of Cameroon. I admire what happened in Senegal with Macky Sall finally backing down. A lot of people don't congratulate him enough. He could have still fought. People keep saying that, see, if he wanted to fight and frustrate things, he could have still done it.
Administrative machinery, maybe he would have even stayed on.
He could have. Yes. He could have. But he backed down. There's a new leader in Senegal. I love his enthusiasm. I love his spirit. I love his charisma. For Cameroon, I just want free and fair elections. That is all I can ask for.
Yes, and what is also trending today in Cameroon is the tussle in the Cameroon Football Federation.
Yes.
Is it that you want a new order, or the situation in Fecafoot, is it tenable? What can be done to bring about a solution to this long-standing problem? What do you propose? I mean, as a Cameroonian, what is happening? Because Cameroonians, they love their football, and when there is a problem there, it is like the country is at a standstill. You, as a concerned Cameroonian, what do you propose there?
You know, I want to propose. I have never read the documents, the articles that run the law in terms of football, the relationship between the government and Fecafoot. My father was my family has been a beneficiary of Fecafoot. May I say that? Because in the past, my dad is a printer. Wow. He's still a printer. We used to print a lot of the stationery needed by Fecafoot. So thank you, Cameroon government, for that. It's what sponsored some of us internationally in America and so on. But I don't really know what is in the legal documents establishing Fecafoot and what the relationship is between Fecafoot and the government. Although I know there is some tussle going on about who is right, who is wrong. I will come back again as an academician to say, let's follow what the law provides. But I admire what the government is doing. I admire what the president of Fecafoot, Samuel Eto'o, is doing. As you know, I believe he has sacrificed a lot for this country also. We must acknowledge that, even if he's made some mistakes. We want to see, he's a diasporan like me. He has come back to help his country and should be given all the support needed. But of course, I can also understand if he has made some mistakes. I hope that something can be worked out for the best interest of Cameroon football. My dear brother, you know we love our Cameroon football team. Please, let nobody mess it up. We love Cameroon football.
Yes, you're talking about diaspora, and in some quarters they term you the patriotic diasporan. What are you doing to bring the other diasporas on board so that they can develop and help develop their country as you are doing?
Yes, you are so correct. I think there is no surprise that a lot of diasporans are frustrated. They are negative about their country. Sometimes for right reasons. Some people left Cameroon out of frustration. But let's be clear, it's not necessarily, they did not leave because of frustrations with the government. Some have left because of frustrations with their families, frustrations with their jobs here, frustrations with many things. So there are many people that are bitter, but we don't talk about the larger percentage of diasporans that love their country,
who want
to contribute to their country. That's the part we don't get. We get a minority of diasporans that are really, really angry and express it. And by the way, I'm not blaming diasporans that may be angry, but you can be angry and still look for a way to develop your country. Still look for... See, Cameroon is one of the best countries you can invest in and get good return on your investment. Very virgin. So I'm pleading with my brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Yes, I understand you have some frustrations. Yes, I understand you have some anger in you. But I did not have connections with the government. But I have been here and I have been wonderfully supported even by this government. My father has never been a minister. He's never been a big name in government. He just worked for the government for some time, but ran his businesses and educated us and was successful. So as I started my initiatives in Cameroon, I want to tell you, I didn't know a whole lot of people. Now my hand is being held by quite a number of people, including people in the government, because I went to the government and I said, this is what I want to do, and they have provided me amazingly great support. Now let's go on the other side. You don't even need the government. If you have, say, land in Cameroon, you have a house or have something, you don't even need the government. If you don't even have the money, Cameroon is one of the easiest countries, believe it or not, to walk to a bank. And I know some people will argue with me. You can go to a bank and get a small loan of 20 million and invest in something in your country, backed by any property you have. Now, if you don't have anything at all, no country in the world will give you money if you can't back it, right? So you don't need the government to walk to a bank in Cameroon and say, oh, je connais le ministre de tel, give me money. You can go, it works. There are challenges, but things have worked well for me in Cameroon, just as it has worked well for me in other nations where I have big initiatives.
Yes, and the situation of the two restive English regions in Cameroon, there is a semblance of return of normalcy. Is that your take?
About 1 year before the war started in the north and southwest regions, I had bought and secured land on the Bamenda and Bengui Road. My parents are from that region. I did not grow up there. I'm being honest. I don't know much about my own heritage, and I'm thankful to the funds that gave me all these chieftaincies. But the reality is, the time I grew up in Cameroon, which I've spent more of my life in the US than here, I grew up in Yaoundé. My friends were mostly francophones, right? I went to a primary school where there were many francophones that were doing English education. So I have friends like Desiree Messi, who is from the Betilan, Ntama, Abega, etc. You cannot wake up today and tell me, let me not have any relationship with these people. That is my own heritage, okay? I bought that land to start the top sub-Saharan Africa telemedicine hospital, where we are not talking just about a medical school, but a medical school that will train students and a hospital that will operate using high tech, where a doctor can be in Switzerland in a specialization that we don't even have in Cameroon and talks with patients and doctors here. I'm not giving up. I am talking with some of the chiefs in the region to see what we can do to continue the project. It's a project I'm not giving up on. We will do it just like we are planning a huge agricultural project in the southwest region. I was born in the southwest, raised in Yaoundé. My ancestry is from the northwest. I'm a Cameroonian. But I am glad from what I hear that some peace is coming in many parts of the northwest and southwest regions. And of course, I've been very public about my opinion that regardless of how angry you are, nobody has the right to stop children to go to school. As a person in education, I'm angered by this. I am pissed off. I'm frustrated. No matter what your grievances are against this government, you have no right to stop children to go to school.
What can be done to sustain this peace?
Well, what is already going on? I truly believe that both sides have been doing a fairly good job. There's not been clear dialogue on media, but something is happening, and what I can talk about are results that we are seeing on ground. Many schools have resumed, and they are going normally. To me, I can talk about the education part. I'm excited. That one is going on. I don't know much, honestly, about other parts of the economy in those regions, but from what I realize is things have started improving, and let's be thankful for those improvements and keep working for the best interest and be patriotic about our nation. It's not, we have issues in Cameroon, but I will repeat it. There are tons of issues in America where I live and in many parts of the world. And regardless of those issues, I'm committed to this nation. That's why I'm here every other month.
From the government perspective, the Grand National Dialogue heralded in this era of peace that we are talking about. Do you also believe in that?
Absolutely. I was part of that Grand National Dialogue. And I thank our dear Prime Minister, His Excellency Chief Dr. Dion Gute, who, by the way, is a great academician. People forget that about him. He's not just a politician. This is an academician who is very fair in his way of handling things and has done an excellent job, which I believe the head of state is happy with him, with what he's doing. I was part of that national dialogue, and we got the reports. And I know when I say these things, there will be critics that say, oh, those were just things said. But I'm telling you, practically, as I've been working out, relaunching activities there, we've had some progress in some initiatives that we are launching in North and Southwest regions, which we could not do some years back.
Talking about the national dialogue, there is the special status that was given to the Northwest and Southwest region. Do you think that this special status is actually bringing out the desired fruits that people are expecting? For example, in the Northwest region, they have the Northwest Development Authority. Yes. They are talking about a dry port that is in gestation. It means that you can actually import and they bring your goods right to Bamenda and you offload. Is that part of the special status, or is just part of initiatives that people can do to bring about their own development?
Yes, but even before I answer that question, I want to remind you and all Cameroonians that the issue of special status, which there's some people in the diaspora criticizing it, that is of no essence. The issue of special status is not a new issue. Back right after the Second World War, Italy went into a special status arrangement which produced places like Sicily and some other settlements in Italy, etc. In Tanzania, we had the Zanzibar region. So it is not new. So it was the rightful thing to be done, but we are talking the case of Sicily was back in the 40s. And what we see in the development now has taken over 70 years. We just had a declaration of the special status, and people want to see paradise happen in Cameroon. It may take some time, but we can see that there are some developments. Those locals now have some control over different projects and so on. So who would you blame? The local leaders there now have to take advantage of this and not steal the money that is given to them, not mismanage the money that's given to them. We have the special status. Let's not abuse it. Let's use it for the benefit of the people, and don't say that because I'm a Meta man. I'm from Zangtabi, and I am one of those running the money from the special status, and I give all contracts to Zangtabi people. Then we are going to some very bad situation. But yes, I think it's the special status has been a good thing, but let's be patient. We are so impatient as Cameroonians. That's why we are not even patient with our football team.
Yes, the involvement of sons and daughters of these two regions in development, road construction, infrastructure, is that part of the special status that was pompously hammered during the national dialogue?
Yes.
Have you also got vibes about what they are doing?
Oh, absolutely, and I'm very familiar with Burns because the owner is a friend of ICT University, and it's unfortunate that some criminals burnt his working vehicles and so on. That was just so unnecessary. But work has still been going on, and we see the videos. I've not been on there, but we see it's beautiful. The western region to Bamenda Road is very good now, right? So there are good things. These things are still going on. Using locals, my dear brother, is a good thing. I love that. That's why we are launching, as ICT University, a huge agriculture project in Northwest and Southwest that will employ 2,000 youth, but 1,500 of those youth must be from those regions.
How soon is that?
It's starting next year. And why are we launching this? Because the government has facilitated agriculture. Now you can import. This is right from the presidency that I have been informed about this, and that's why I can say it in public. That I can bring in the agricultural machinery duty free. My goodness.
That's part of the import substitution that the government is asking for.
What else do we want? What else do we want? You can bring it duty free. And there's another thing which I'm still to verify. You can run that business for some years, almost tax free for a number of years.
It's a duration of about 2 years, 2-3 years.
Tell me where you can get this even in America or in Europe, where any little thing you do, 40% tax. We have an opportunity to run agriculture projects in a country that imports rice, imports wheat, and is beginning, from what I hear, there are laws coming in that will limit the importation. My goodness. And in your villages, you have land. You go to your chief. There is no Cameroonian that cannot go to their chief and they don't give them land if he will provide jobs for that village. What else do we need? So the fact is, we have been spoiled. Even since the former administration to the current administration, President Amadou Ahidjo and now President Paul Biya, I think these two presidents, if I can criticize them, they have spoiled Cameroon in that we have been used to a lot of free things. You just said you went to university not paying any fees. Where in America can you go to university without paying fees or paying $90, which is 150,000 francs for fees? I know that people will hate me for saying these things, but to an extent, come on. The government cannot give everything. We must be responsible. Now, I want to challenge all Cameroonians, including those in the diaspora. You can send tractors and different machinery. If you can gather even $40,000 in the United States as a diaspora, you buy a used tractor, buy some equipment, send to your village, beg your chief to give you 10 hectares of land to employ young people to plant wheat if wheat grows. Now the government is trying to limit, for good reason, importation of some of these things. You package what you need to do, bring in your tractors, bring in what you need to convert those and package the wheat for local consumption and for export. You don't even need the little change that the white man is giving you in America in order to do things. Let me say a declaration here that people don't know. The money I've made in Namibia, in Nigeria, in Uganda, in fact, even in Cameroon to an extent, I have not made 2% of that money in my whole career in America as a full professor. Okay? There is money in Africa. I have done big initiatives in America using financial resources from Africa. Let me leave it like that. Africa is not that bad. And I may have some government connections now, but when I started, I did not have any government connections. The governments in these different countries saw what I was doing and came in to support. Like the Frenchman would say, "Put accompagner." I like accompagner a little bit. I don't know much French, but don't worry about it. So these are practical things that we can have.
It was a pleasure talking to you. And thank you for talking to The Bottom Line.
Thank you, my dear brother. And please, I'm happy you have talked about our initiatives, the ICT University. Let your folks apply, let them join the university, but most important, let them come to the conference. 2 heads of state are coming in July. They should come. It's free for all Cameroonian youths. We look forward to receiving them.
Thank you very much.
The 21st century is a century for ICT. You need a tool such as ICT to reach so many places.
Apply now and study ICT, Science of Education, Business Management, and many more at the ICT University.
This is The Bottom Line with Onimwa.